Hi everyone, happy November. I hope you are doing well. I thought that I would make this intro video while I'm shuffling for the next reading. I want to explain something. First and foremost, I want to thank you from beyond my life, honestly, beyond my soul. I am beyond grateful for all of the amazing emails, all of the well wishes, all of the positive energies. What you don't even realize that you did was, and I can't be more grateful. I don't do well with modern medicine. I don't, and it's terrifying because I'm always the one that, they'll say, oh, well, in general. I'm always that one that I'm always the in general that doesn't fit into that. So anything that works for someone else most likely will not work for me. So it's always terrifying, especially with having to deal with this, because I'm like the one that nothing works for. But the one thing that had worked for me, like I said, for 30 years, and people were always amazed, including doctors, that I really didn't come out of remission a lot. And when it did, I could snap it back in. It was never like this. And I knew going into this, when it wasn't getting better, it was getting worse, that something, might really happen here. It was a little terrifying. So I'm glad to say, though, that the minute that I decided to put that out there, I really did feel things switch. So you have no idea how much you absolutely helped me, and I could not be more grateful. So thank you for that. And thank you also for all of the emails with recommendations. Herbal things, again, without you guys even realizing it, that's the route I go, because those things work for me. Modern medicine doesn't, but all of those suggestions that you got, and I noticed that most of you said, I hope I'm not overstepping, and I get that, because I'm always the one busting through someone's, space. So don't ever think, when you've got something to offer someone, always follow through with that, because that's how we learn things. That's how we get ideas. That's how, when someone sends me something, I'll test drive it and I'll share it with someone else. So always do that. For some of you, if you're looking and you think you're sitting on nothing, sometimes you'll see a reading come through and it's like, oh, well, I don't have any gifts. Those are gifts. Those are beyond gifts, because those change people's lives. And I'll tell you that, I can tell you that just by what I've received here. So there you go. Okay. Secondly, I want to point out how I'm doing the readings for this month. All right. As you know, if you're following my channel, you know my readings are a little bit different. They're a little bit more deep. My goal, because that is what my lifetime is about, is empowering you to go and empower your life. So I can't give you a little reading. I need to give you what's underneath it, so that when you come up against it, it helps you. You know why something's happening. It makes the shifts a little bit easier. Okay, so what I'm doing this time is that, and this is the first time also ever that I've done readings over, because they were so not sitting with me. And then I would get a lot of messages afterward just that it was right. It shouldn't go that way. And I just was getting like a fog was coming over me when I was doing the reading, and I did too. And it was just like, no, it's not right. And I stopped and I meditated on it, and no, I shouldn't have pulled the trigger on those, and I didn't. What I'm doing here is I'm going down. I'm getting underneath what these changes that you'll be experiencing are for. Okay, they're larger, they're big, they're going to be, being reborn is such a cliche, but it's like you're going to be present with this one. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to come into this life like the new baby. You're going to come into the life with what you've acquired until now, good, bad, and indifferent. And you're going to step into your life, right? And you're going to do it in a way that could be terrifying. But what I want you to know is that relationships on all fronts, that's you and someone else. I don't care if it's your animal or whoever it is, right? It's not just one-on-one relationships. So please don't cap out on that. You're the other half of any equation in your life, okay? But some relationships are going to end. Some have taught you things, but now you go on to something else. Some jobs, some careers, some talents, some things you want to do, some things you want to eat, some things you don't want to eat, the way you want to look, how you want to how you want to step into yourself, how you trust your intuition, how you trust yourself. Your life is changing for each of you in a different way. You're dissolving something and you're evolving something. That's why the readings that I'm doing is dissolve, evolve, and what are my blessings in here, right? And remember, blessings can sometimes come in a holy crap that really hurt. Those are blessings too, okay? But what we're dissolving, where we're evolving. Okay, so that's how I'm going down into this reading. So you're going to realize when you come up against these things, which are probably going to be big game changers. I feel like karma's being paid off here. I feel like health issues are being leveled out in whatever way that is. I think that relationships, how we stand up, how we show up, the things we put our hands on, what we really want to do is changing. But it's changing at a holy crap instant level. Some of the things, right? Some of the things can be a little bit of a shock and an awe, right? Things like that. I know that people are saying, and I'm not pulling on Uranus in here, I'm just pointing this out, that I've noticed that Uranus is not, people are rah-rahing it. It's a liberation planet, and it is, but it usually comes in the form of like a lightning strike to your ass is what it comes, and it comes like in a blink of an eye. So it's a little terrifying, and I know that it's in a lot of these things, but I'm pulling here for you guys, okay, and how things are going to transpire. So when these things come along, or when a relationship is really just, it's toxic, it's not able to be mended, you're just not going to see eye to eye on things, it makes this a little bit easier to face that, right? Realizing that you're dissolving things and you're evolving with things. But my intention for this type of reading is to get under what you'll be experiencing starting this month, right? So use the other tarot readers that you're dealing with or that you're watching. Use those as well, how this will apply to me, but this will be like the master plan, right? As to why those things are happening. And then in December, I'll go back to the normal. I'll hit it as a normal reading, but I want you to have this blueprint as to how things, take what works for you and don't, and leave the rest. My suggestion for this month, okay, is to look at your rising sign first, because that to me is why you chose to be in this life now. Okay, then your sun and your moon and whatever else you choose to look at. Okay, however this fits for you, but for my readings, because I'm pulling on why is this person here? What is their intent in this life, right? Why did they choose to come here? Those were what I asked to be seen. Okay, so for this month, for me, for this channel, and for us, just please use your rising sign. Okay, so there you go. I hope this was short enough. I know you guys hate it, but again, I cannot ever thank you enough for what you did, and I'm beyond grateful. So there you go. Hi Libra, happy November. I hope you're doing well. Okay, yours is kind of your reading is not what I expected. It answers a lot of questions though. There is, I think, a lot of past karma that you're working through is kind of like neglecting the hand, or what is that saying? But biting the hand that feeds you. I think there's a lot of family responsibilities. By that I mean from like childhood, like would be your immediate family. A lot of responsibilities put on you. Maybe parents that in this lifetime you feel under the weight of, like you're burdened by. You can't, there's a need or a sense of wanting freedom here, wanting to do something. But then on the flip side of that, I feel like almost like a recluse, kind of like not wanting to deal with society in here. So I think that it's just maybe a not well developed, maybe not great role models growing up, right? Like maybe you needed to step in and be a parent, right? Maybe you needed to, because I think that there's a mismatch between wanting to do your own thing career-wise and having responsibilities of family dynamic on you where, maybe the parents couldn't quite do it and it fell on you. There's also a lot in here about success through confidence in yourself. I think there's a lack of that. I think there's a difference between, and this is very, very much pointed out, which again, I was a little taken back by, prestige, your appearance, how you appear to be and how you really are on the inside. And it's kind of like not wanting to do something if there's not prestige involved. Meaning, I think that that's where the kind of shying away from society and not wanting to integrate into that, if it's something that there's a false sense of grandeur here too, right? And I think that these things might still be lingering somewhere. They're the behind the scenes things. Again, that's why I'm doing these readings that are holding you up in some regard. If you're having relationship issues, right, you're maybe putting too much on somebody here, or I think what happens here too is that I see someone going back to their parents in like, it's kind, or inviting them to you. There's a parental dynamic here that comes full circle, where now it's not a responsibility. Now I don't feel like I have to do this. I feel the necessity to want to do this. Like now you take care of your parents or something like that. Like you grow or you step into that. But what I want to say here is there's knowledge here. There's power here. There's prestige here. It's kind of like someone who would be in like public office, or ironically, you're in the mix of society in a large scale, but not someone who really likes society, or I think it's kind of like an insecurity kind of thing. So you're being really asked here to step into your confidence and do this. And I think that it's through trial and error in life, but you can really make large, grand scale career moves for yourself. It's just, I don't think the door, the one you're looking for, really opens for you until you can balance the home life and the work life. And I don't think that happens out of the gate, because I think there's a big mismatch between, it's a lot of inner stuff for you. I feel like the difference between selfless things and selfish things, like things that you think you should be entitled to, you kind of maybe feel like you shouldn't, or, you know, I shouldn't do that because it's a selfish thing. I shouldn't want these things. I should be doing this. You know what I mean? Again, I think it's a lot of that past life stuff of maybe biting the hand that fed you, and you kind of weren't there for your family, and now it's kind of that internal dialogue of, I want to go over here, I want to travel, I want to work, I want to do this, but I've got responsibilities that are weighing on me here. Like maybe you can't get out from under the, you know, the realm of having to take care of your parents. Maybe they're just not, they're not able to take care of themselves. So your life is not able to be what it is, or what it should be, or what do you want it to be. I think you want your life to be big and grandiose and on main stage and all of that, and front and center. But I think that the inside of you kind of wants to hide away from all that. You know what I mean? Like I should do this, but I really don't want to do this. You know, it's like you just want to hide out here. It's kind of what I'm feeling. But again, this all goes back to like the guilt complex of wanting things, but you're kind of like stepping into a role here that you're feeling like, and this could be something too where, you know, you're stepping into a role where, you know, it's a false sense of grandeur. Like maybe you can actually free yourself up to go and do the things that you want, but you use the excuse of, I've got to take care of my family, so I can't do this, because it's a confidence issue. You're being really told to step into your confidence here and to use your knowledge. If you need to update a skill set in something, go do it. That's when you're able to be firmly planted on your feet, and there's something here too around politics or something of status. The career is something of status, or that's what you're looking for. You really want that. There's something here too about dressing to the nines, like really dressing prestigiously or not at all. It's like you want this, but I think that you're not willing to do the stepping stones for it. For some of you, okay? That's what I'm getting. So what you're dissolving here, I think, is the Magician, right? But I think that it's just not, I shouldn't say letting go of, but more finding a balance with what you're actually able to do and what you'll do. You know what I mean? It's, again, what you're dissolving here is, yes, I can do this. Yes, I know I need to do this. Again, with the confidence and the knowledge and the schooling and the I know I need this, but will you do it? You know what I mean? It's will you do it, or will you hide out and find an excuse to not do it? I think what you're doing is you're dissolving that mismatch. I don't think you're dissolving the magician, because he's the, I'm going to do it. I've got everything that I need to do it. It's just, do I have the confidence, right? And am I pacing myself enough to know that I may need schooling for this? I need a different skill set for this. It's initiating it, or it's not doing anything at all. That's the magician is in a healthy magician. It's, I know I need to do this step by step. I know it's like the alchemy. You've got to build, break it down, burn it out to build it back up. And it takes time. It's patience. That's another thing with the Emperor. It's patience, right? It's not happening overnight. And where you're evolving here is the Judgment card. It's a calling. Yes, that's where you're going. But it's a patience. It's a stepping into it. It's a new door, right? It's an opportunity. I need to work within the natural confines of things, and it won't just happen. It's that kind of stuff, right? I think there is an issue here around respect, authority figures, integrity, and I think that there's something, I think it's an unsettledness on the inside with authority figures or society. You just don't feel like you fit in. And I think that that's why the aesthetics on the outside are so important. It kind of masks that. You're just not comfortable in that. I think you'd rather just really hide away and kind of use the responsibilities of another area of your life to not allow you to step into what you're entitled to, right? I think this is something that just accumulates over time. There's something around authority figures. Maybe there was an issue as a child. Maybe you lived somewhere or had some issues where in a country or wherever where it was like overthrown by authority figures, or it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, or it's something that you felt very little behind. Maybe society too. Maybe you were shunned in society as a small child. So it's like, how do I stand up now on my own? And again, with the confidence, right? There, again, one of your messages was illusion around grandeur, right? So you want to be careful of that. We all have that. I don't think that in a not proper way, that's not such a bad thing. We always want to look prepared and put together, and we want to present ourselves in a way that is, pulled together. But if you're looking like you're pulled together and you're not on the inside, the charade will play itself out and it won't end well. So that's what I'm thinking it is. Okay, now with the Judgment card, that's a huge one. It's telling you kind of that, you want to evolve towards something that is whole, that is, I have the knowledge for this, I have the confidence for this. It's not just the aesthetics, it's I've got this from the inside too, right? And I'm not going to use excuses in my life to not step into this. And you shouldn't. You know what I mean? I think there's something really around family obligations here. And it's just a rattled sense of like guilt or obligation that just holds you back. And I feel that very strongly. Okay. Now, you've got in your blessing cards, you've got the Sun card. Okay. And I think I'm going to show you how to bridge those two. You've also got the Justice card in here, right? Again, I think it is a balancing act. This is a karmic card. It's like the wheel turns. So take advantage of these opportunities. That's why I'm doing this. If you're saying, yes, I don't have a lot of confidence, or yes, I try to look like I have it all together, but I'm kind of, not confident on the inside, I've got news for you. We're all like that. It's just to varying degrees. But to this degree, I think it might be crippling you, but it could also set you free. Okay? You're being pushed to go for these things. The universe, I wouldn't get these messages that you need to work on your confidence. Would be if you can't, maybe writing, maybe doing a book, or it doesn't need to be on stage, but there's something where you get yourself out there, And you've got the Temperance card here. And that, again, I'm getting this around your reading. It's about patience, and things take time. And again, I think that with this, it's bridging of the confidence, intellect, knowledge. But with the Sun card, again, it's like I've got to work within the confines of society, right? Of authority. I've got to work within that. And I'm not talking strong-held by that. I'm not talking not balanced. I'm talking like the confines of, we've got, you know, if you want a job in something, you've got to have the skill set in it. If you want, you know, whatever, you've got to have the other half of that. And the Sun card, the dynamic in that is between wanting freedom and needing to be with people. You know what I mean? And when you bridge the two, and that's what sets you free, right? It's the, yes, I have obligations here, but I can also have a life of my own here. And then you figuring out how to balance that. And I think that what holds you up, or what might be holding you back from the door, is internal guilt. You know, I don't feel like I'm confident. I feel like I should be doing this. I think you overdo this, like too much hamster on the wheel. It's slowing things down and realizing step by step, inch by inch, you can do this for sure. Okay. And it's just understanding that, because this is another card. It's building something new, but it's realizing that it doesn't happen overnight. It's about patience and trust. There's divine guidance all through your reading here. You've got amazing cards that speak of divine guidance. The only thing you've got to do is maybe work on your confidence. Maybe you've got to just step into your own here. The Magician is a great card, but if it's in the spot of what are you dissolving, you've got to get your emotions in check, and you've got to have a little bit of confidence in yourself and pull it forward in a proper way, right? And the outbound card here is the Chariot. Again, it's a card of maturity, you know, and I say that that's not a bad word. You know, maturity is growth. It's forever growing, but it's what gets this show on the road here is that it's a win-win for everyone with this Chariot card. It's a success card too, and it's your outbound card. And when you loosen up a little bit, you'll be pleasantly surprised that you step into something here. There is something about a door, and I keep hearing the door. So there's something that, like, you think you may only get so far, and then you get pushed back. You may only get so far and you get pushed back. What's holding you back is you. What you've got to do here, look at this. Where you're evolving is this card. Where your blessing is here. The Sun card is getting it together. It's getting the Judgment card together. The Judgment card is your calling. What you're merging here are the two halves of yourself, and that's this card. That's the Sun card. It's your whole now. You've paid your karma. You've paid it off. Every time that something comes along where you step up to the plate for someone, or you stick up for someone, or say you're a lawyer or a politician, or you know, you take the cause and you push it forward for the greater good, you're paying off your karma. I'm telling you, that's what you're doing here, because the door is like, you're done. You're done. You don't owe anyone anything anymore. Step through your door of your life. And I think that that's why I kept getting the parents. There's something around parents where you now offer them there's something around real estate too in here, and like a bad purchase or something that's got like a sour taste. So maybe some money was squandered somewhere along the line, and it held up your family or something like that. But this is like, there's something around going back to maybe where maybe now you need to take care of your parents, but it's not a need. It's I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do. And you do it, but you keep your life too. You're not sacrificing something. You know what I mean? It's like you're whole on the inside and you're balancing your life, and there's no guilt and there's no shame, and I'm not going to hide out from my life. I'm going to step into it. I mean, let's just be honest. There's not one of us that just doesn't want to hide out in the closet one day. We just don't want to deal with life, right? But this is a bigger thing. This is like maybe you were stunted at an earlier age where you had a lot on you that you shouldn't have. Maybe you were a young child that had to be the breadwinner. It could be something like that too. There's a skewed, like you stepped into this world having to put your 2 feet on the ground and taking care of your family. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that always has that behind the 8 ball feeling, but you're not behind the 8 ball because the door is here. We never don't get something. We always have enough time. You're stepping into your time now. So if there's anything in this reading where you're saying, I just don't have the confidence, you're being told to do it. The door is here. The confidence comes. The confidence comes by, you know what? I stood on stage and I got booed, or I sounded like an ass, or I made a mistake, or people didn't like me, or, no one showed up, or we learn from those things and it propelled you forward. Now you've felt that. Now you know what that feels like. Push through these barriers. There's something around politics too in here, like political or maybe office. I know nothing about offices. I know nothing about politics. But this is like a prestige kind of place. Maybe you're like I don't know, but you've got people backing you and you're backing people. So it's like it's a healthy kingdom is what it is, right? And that's what you're supposed to be stepping into. There's something too about writing, or there's something really about paperwork or documentations in here too. So there might be something around that. But there's something too, the main takeaway from this, my gosh, is confidence and knowing that you've paid off your debt here. So don't let that hold you back, and don't use that as an excuse to not get out there with your courage and go live your life. Okay, again, authority figures or society, those I feel are old. They're old triggers. They're old trigger points for you. They can't hurt you anymore. You can show up now and do your life. So that's what I've got. I think these are really strong cards. The Sun card is and considering it's one of your blessing cards, it's saying you're stepping into your own now. You're about to have the life that you want for yourself. You've just got to bridge all of these polarities that you've got. The guilt and the shame, the responsibility and the wanting to do your own thing, right? It's not being held hostage to your own. I can't do this because my parents need me. Don't do that. If you're really doing that and inside you're hearing this and saying, yes, I'm doing it because it's a good cover, don't do that. Step through your door. You're here to live a life. I'm not going to preach to you. You've got amazing cards here. Your main takeaway are slow and steady. Get the credentials that you need. Step into it. We learn from the worst experiences of our lives, and it sets us free. And you're being told that now is your time to kind of do this, So I think that how you go back, there's something around your family, how you go back with that is that now you want to take care of them. Now you want to do something for them. It's not a need. It's not like you're held under the stronghold. It's like, yeah, now I need to do this, right? This is really weird, and this is coming into, because I don't, who is that lady? There was some, the Joyce Myers thing. I don't know why this is coming to mind. I don't think I've seen her in years. I think her deal was she had a real cruddy relationship. It held her back forever with her parents. I don't remember what the dynamic was with that, but it's coming in here. So here's your story. I think her parents got ill before they were dying, and they were horrible to her growing up. I don't remember the specifics, but she had to be responsible for them in their older age. You know what I'm saying? So it could be something like that where she had to really step up to the plate and just say, I'm doing it just because it's the right thing to do. And her, it's kind of like that. Like there was no ill will. She just did it because she was a better person now in her life. She stepped into her own life, and she had a tough life too, but she pushed through it. I don't know why that story is coming here. Again, it just popped in, so there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be starting private readings again in November. Okay, thank you so much.